Namaskar. Today we will remember one of the greatest minds of Indian football. He always said education is very important in sports. He was of the opinion that intelligence is definitely needed in sports and games. Fools and athletes with just physique and stamina cannot win medals. He said, what a footballer does when the ball is not with him on the field differentiates an excellent player from the mediocre one. Did you know the greatest coach of Indian football was just a school teacher by profession? Yes, you heard it right. He was a teacher. We are talking about our legendary football guru, Syed Abdul Rahim. He worked as a teacher in Kachiguda Middle School, Urdu Sharif School, and Darul-ul-Uloom High School and Chaderghat High School in Hyderabad. He then took a diploma in the physical education and took charge of the sports activities in the last two schools he served as a teacher. Before joining as a teacher, he played football for Osmania University. Did you know he also played for the Dutch amateur league club HSV Hoek in the Netherlands? Can you imagine, in the early 1900s he was out of the country to play football? Unbelievable. Rahim was an Urdu poet in private. He always thought football could be a moving poetry on the field. He often said, football is a simple game. Take the ball and give it back. That's all. But what differentiates an average player with an exceptional player is that the better footballer knows what to do when he does not have the ball with him. He emphasized how you play when the ball is not with you makes you special and different. He wrote a line for his player and asked him to read it. It was written, "Gend se khelna nahi mushkil, gend bina khelkar jara dekho," which roughly translates to, it is not difficult to play with the ball, but try playing without the ball too. So our coach was not just a teacher, but also a poet. Did you know why he really switched his alliance from teaching to football? There were two different poles. He saw the Indian footballers trying to unnecessarily dribble the ball too much. That's when he told to himself he needed to teach the next generation how to play games and how to win matches. He really was the architect of modern Indian football. As a revolutionary coach, he introduced the concept of one-touch football. A dribble in the training session would be considered as a foul and a free kick would be awarded. In the process to improve one-touch football, he conducted non-dribbling and weaker leg tournaments. Rahim also started the age group tournaments and gave specialized training to teenagers long before this trend became fashionable. Always meticulous, he set different goals and standards for various age group teams. Rahim also conducted a number of coaching classes for footballers and trained scores of coaches and referees. He was a visionary and did more for Indian football than any coach either before him or after him. So he was a teacher, he was a poet, and now he was a visionary too. Rahim's coaching was very methodical. Moves planned on the match were first theoretically explained on the blackboard and were later rehearsed on the ground till the players perfected them. Rahim ensured that his players' conduct on the field and dedication were impeccable. Even before Brazil popularized the 4-2-4 system in the 1958 World Cup, Rahim used this playing system with the Indian team. In the 1956 Melbourne Olympics, instead of deep lying center forward, he used Samar Badru Banerjee in the withdrawn playmaker's role. No country in the world had ever attempted this formation before. India trounced Australia 4-2, literally trounced, to reach the semi-finals. He really was an astute technician. Rahim's great ability was being able to create a club-life atmosphere in the national team with an emphasis on cohesiveness and confidence. His intense practice session had many variations as players were used in different positions with the focus on individual training with the ball. So he was a teacher, he was a poet, he was a visionary, and he was a tactician as well. He discouraged players from playing cards as he felt that it upset the team spirit and marred concentration and discipline. He was also not in favor of having occasional drinks. Instead, he encouraged his team to read and analyze and discuss the game during their spare times. While watching films was the only non-football entertainment he tolerated. He indeed was a disciplinarian. He had invented innovative slogans to motivate his players like "Soccer is a passing game" and a game of open spaces. Soccer depends upon 2L and 2H. 2 L's for legs and lungs and 2H for heart and head. Follow the opponents as soon as you lose the ball. A motivator for sure. Rahim's subtle psychological ploys motivated the Indian players on the day of games. In the dressing room, he made the entire squad hold hands and sing Jana Gana Mana. This was also repeated at the halftime. The players were inspired as They were compared with the freedom fighters trying to uphold the dignity of the country's flag. His pre-match instructions were to play with courage, commitment, and shut down the crowd noise. Not just a teacher, not just a poet, not just a tactician, not just a disciplinarian, not just a motivator, but also a psychologist. You had all these qualities in our legendary football guru. Coach Rahim was popularly known as Maulvi Sahab due to his gentleman gesture and tireless works and dedication in developing football at that time. He was born in 17th August 1909 at Hyderabad. Rahim indeed was a golden coach. Under his stewardship, the Indian national team earned superiority in both technical qualities and tactical innovations and got the nickname of Brazil of Asia. Yes, we were called the Brazil of Asia. They went on to win gold medals in Asian Games of 1959 at Delhi and 1962 in Jakarta. We played the semi-finals of the Summer Olympics in 1956 Melbourne, making India the first ever Asian country to achieve this place. We won the titles of Colombo Cup for the year 1952 in Colombo and 1954 in Calcutta. We also became runners-up in the Merdeka Cup in 1959 in Kuala Lumpur. He was a master at work. He made the Indian football team a formidable unit. He had the uncanny ability of spotting talent and turning them into solid players. Sadly, he had an untimely demise on 11 June 1963 due to lung cancer, and that was the end of golden age of Indian football. They say the astute coach Rahim, with him, he took the Indian football to the grave, and we cannot agree more. Jai Hind.